Alright everybody, welcome back to the Talent Stacker Project Salesforce build walkthrough with Will. This is part 2. In this video we'll be talking about installing NPSP and the org cleanup that I go through before I start working in the org. So you're going to want to go and just search on Google install Salesforce NPSP to start. You're going to come up on this page and you have to do like a pre-check with the org. It might have you log into the specific org, which if you've been following along, that would be your dev org that we are using for this project. After it approves it, it will come up and it will start. You can start the install from there. After you agree to the terms, you'll just go ahead and start the install. Once it has finished installing, it will look like this. I think it will also send you an email, and then you can just go straight into your org and get started. And all those added features of NPSP will be in your org. Alright, so this half of the video is just going to be kind of the first org cleanup. We'll probably do a few of them along the way, but I just like to do this to get what I need in my org and what I don't. So there's a lot of records that come out of the box that we don't need, which are accounts, some cases, some leads, some campaigns, some roles, stuff like that, that we can just go and delete those records that have already been created that we don't need. So let's get started. First we're going to go in and we will let's go into accounts first. As you can see, it comes up recently viewed. I always go in and put all accounts and pin that list, so that list view, so we could do that. You can look, we can go over to the right side and we can use that delete button. First off, this has a case associated, so we can't delete that yet. But another smarter way to do this when we have a lot to delete, and we'll do it both ways in this example, but is to go into setup, that gear up at the top right, and we're going to search mass delete records. So when we mass delete the records, you can choose what kind of records, and we want to do accounts. So we'll go in here and we have to find the account. We have to give it some criteria. So we'll see what we can do with that. We can do ownership. You're going to be the owner of these since you created all of them. So you could use account owner as ownership. But we can also use account alias. So I think in the end here, I try to use account alias. I think at first I used ownership, but that didn't work out for some reason. Let's see. We want to delete accounts that have been associated with opportunities, because then those opportunities gets deleted too. We also want to delete accounts that are associated with opportunities owned by somebody else, because right now we don't have that. We can also click the box for permanently delete selected records, because we don't need to restore them. There's no reason. These are just example accounts. These are just examples. We're just gonna go in and delete it later. So this ownership, see, this was a pick list and I didn't understand that, so now I change it over to the account alias. And if I go through and look at the account owner alias is what we're looking for. And sometimes, guys, you're just gonna run into errors like this and you just have to figure it out. And then usually once you run into an error one time, you understand there on out when that error pops up, or what is a better way to do it. So now we search for all of those, so we can go ahead and click the box at the top that selects all of them, and then we can delete them. So here, some of them are going to delete. Now the thing is, there's still some, and you're like, wonder why. So why that is if you look accounts with associated, and I'll show you guys here in a second, but see, there's still some accounts left, but it has to do with things being associated with them that we haven't deleted. So if there's a case associated with it, or not then be able to do that. So accounts with activated contracts will not be deleted, and partner accounts with partners that are still active will not be deleted. And this is just me problem solving right here, trying to figure out what is wrong. Boom. So see, cases, so we have to go into cases and delete those. So let's go do that. And cases are down over on the right under more. Recently viewed, oh no, there's none, but no, you have to go to all open cases. And then this is a place where we can use these over on the side, because there's only 3 of them. That's easy to go through and click. It's a few more clicks maybe, but it's a lot easier than waiting for mass delete records to load, right? Something like that. So if you can do it simply using those, then go ahead by all means. Here I'm like, oh man, there's a lot. They're all closed, but they might still be related to those accounts, right? So we're going to go over, and this is where we'd use cases to mass delete those. Let's see. I'm doing the same thing here using case owner alias. Set that equal to my alias because I'm the one that created them. Delete the records permanently. Alright, so now we can delete all those. No more cases to display. Now I can go back to accounts and delete the accounts that I missed because of that. So you guys, if you watch this video and you're not just following along, you watch it first, you know you can go delete accounts or delete cases first, then go delete counts, and they'll all delete, and you don't have to do what I did. So you guys are learning from me too. Now look, no account records, so we deleted those. Good to go. So we've done cases, we've done accounts. See, no more accounts. There's this one account, sample account for entitlements, but it's not gonna let me delete this because it says there's an entitlement. So I actually just ended up leaving this. If I figure out a solution for this to delete it, I'll let you guys know, but in the time I had for this video, I just left it because it won't mess with too much. Opportunities, all opportunities, they got deleted when I deleted my accounts. Leads, so we can go through and do leads. Once again, I pin the all open leads, and I'm going to use mass delete records again. So I'm going to go in, do leads, delete leads, my ownership, using the same thing, my owner alias. There we go. Permanently delete them. Search for them. Here we go. Select all, delete all. That should clean up that part for us. Then reloaded that page and went through. Good to go. And I think I just went through, made sure we didn't have any tasks, anything else like that, anything that came out of the box that were just examples that we don't really need. Maybe I'll just fast forward through this part too, so you guys can just see I went through and just searched for things. One thing I did find here was some campaigns. There's only 4 of them, so I'm just going to go through on the list view and delete using that button over on the right again, that drop down menu. And honestly, guys, something I'm going to mention a lot throughout this whole project is there's many different ways to do things. And that's in terms of this whole project, how I set everything up. I just did it to the best of my ability from what I've learned so far. And of course, in the comments or on LinkedIn, if you want to comment and let me know if there's something I could do better or something I'm doing wrong, please, by any means, I am open to criticism. After this one about cleanup, and I found something else that we need to clean up, and that's roles. So if we're in setup, this is the other side of it, right? You go up to the top, to the right side, and click on the gear. In the search, we go and we type in roles. Now you can see, and I'll show you guys how to set up the roles. That's another video, but there's a lot of things we don't need. One of them is like CFO, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that because that's just not something we need for the structure of our org at this moment. If this was a real life situation, maybe we would need it, but it really depends on the org you're working in and what you guys need, and you can set up these roles however you like. So I kept CEO at the top. We'll talk about our different roles, which are administrator, member review manager, study group manager, volunteer project manager, program manager. But then I tried to delete the SVP, the customer service and support, and it wouldn't let me because there's roles beneath that. So basically what we have to go in and do is go in and delete those roles. And you could click on these and go into the role exactly. But I just went back here.
I didn't get that. Could you?
And went down to these roles. I made sure there's nothing below. So if you just hit that little plus box, you can make sure there's nothing else below that. Then we can delete that. And I think I ran into that a few times through here. But basically, you just then go and delete all the roles that we don't need. So if you start with this, and you go in and delete these, you're going to be deleting everything except CEO, right? You can go in and delete everything but CEO, and you'll be doing great. And then that means in the next video when we go in and do roles and set up roles, users, and profiles, you will have a head start on me because I forgot to do that before. And this is where we ran into like multiple plus marks, see? So, oh no, it still has more. So yeah, just go through. I'll fast forward through this part. Just go through and delete all of those. That's how I did it at least. Awesome, so now we're just about done with that. All those roles are the ones that I created, so we'll do that in the next video. But it should just be left like CEO by itself, okay, for you guys. I went in and checked to make sure there's any users. These users are out of the box users, but they are not going to affect anything we do. One thing I think I did go in and do, I'll show you guys that later in that next video, but you can create list views for users too. Profiles, I don't think there are any profiles out of the box that we don't need in there. Like all of those are pretty basic and they could be used to clone if we need certain types of users, so we'll leave those in there also.